Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are still having a little bit of technical difficulties, but the race has begun. I'll let you know that it is kind of sorted out, kind of already. A single file on the bottom, so there's a lot of action, but we're working to get it to you here. Cody Height was the pole sitter. He is still up there. Timothy Harper has taken second. Jacob Gladelich third, Tyler Dixon fourth, Cody Reeder fifth, Ryan Jones sixth. Hoping, oh, here we go. We got the cameras up.
Yes, we do. We do, in fact, have those cameras up. Thank you, Christian, so much. And
I was filling.
you're doing a great job, my friend. Yeah, just like total meltdown like I've never experienced here as a producer. 130 live broadcasts, never had exactly that issue, but it is live. The show must go on, and it is. Timothy Harper has now taken over that lead spot from Cody Height. Harper now up 2 spots already. And are we going to see some Harper magic tonight? That is a potential. He's had it coming. He's been working hard. He's been posting on Facebook. He really wants to get that number 99 for Harper Motorsports up there into Victory Circle at the end of the night. It's a long time coming, though. 195 more laps he's going to have to get in here in order to take that victory.
Oh, we got trouble.
We do have
the
trouble.
6 truck. Oh no, Ronnie already.
Oh my goodness. Ronnie Norman there in the 6 getting caught up. I see Todd Slauson, Todd Schneider, Michael Shield, David McGuire, all these trucks mentioned here. Let's go ahead and jump back and take a look and see if we can figure out exactly what took place here. Let's check from Ronnie Norman's viewpoint what happened here. We can see him going around the corner, and he looks like he just gets loose himself. And that brings him around into the 7th. We'll back this one up here for just a moment.
Yeah, and our points leader, Sean Briscoe, involved in that one as well.
Yeah, he just gets loose.
Just stepped out,
that Hooters truck, and Briscoe caught up in that one as well. That's amazing. It did not register that he was caught up in it, but we can take a look certainly from his standpoint.
Yeah, he's got a lot of damage. That might, I don't think it's terminal, but it's going to be a long night for Briscoe.
He was just behind this when this came out and into the side of Ronnie Norman. So 2 of the favorites already suffering big problems here in the early going. Tough stuff for Sean Briscoe and Ronnie Norman and a number of drivers. We've got Torrance Schertz, Todd Slauson into the pits, Joey States all the way at the back there into the pits as well. So are they going to go down? They're going to probably go down a lap already, and this is really going to hurt their night, Christian. This is tough stuff to have happen here so early in the race. Ronnie Norman, as I mentioned, one of the favorites anytime he's behind the wheel. Now I see Cody Dorsey just blinking out for a second, but either way, right now, top 5 is Timothy Harper, Cody Height, Jacob Gladelich, Tyler Dixon, and Brian Jones, your top 5. Looking pretty 40 up there front, but certainly Brian Jones, he did just lose the points lead in the championship to Sean Briscoe, and this isn't the way that you want to get that lead back, but certainly surviving any wrecks would be one way to do it.
Yeah, with Brian Jones not being involved in that one, I think he will easily take back the points lead after tonight, because Sean Briscoe is probably going to go multiple laps down throughout the night. And probably struggle for the next 180 or so laps.
Yeah, exactly. 190 laps, and really the issue being also Brian still has to survive. I mean, he could just as easily get caught up in one of these big incidents as well. So rough going in the early stages here at the Truck Series 7th round under our first caution. And already seen a couple of the favorites involved, including Sean Briscoe. Now seeing still Sean Briscoe sitting there on pit lane, as well as Ronnie Norman. We've got another truck sideways here. It looks like they just tapped the wall as well. It's like Todd Schneider, is it? see it. Looks like Michael Scheel sideways there, and I don't know if that's going to cause them to not be able to put out the green flag. But
yeah, they postponed the green for one more lap due to that, so they will be going green next time by.
So we'll have to wait it out, go green next time by. Christian Steele up on the latest happenings here in the NORA Truck Series, and once again, so great to finally get this up and running, and now we can jump into a great evening of racing. Should be some great short track racing. Tempers may flare. There may be some paint removed off the sides of these trucks at the end of the night, but Timothy Harper jumps on that gas, and we're back underway here. And it looks like we've already got, indeed, Tyler Dixon, one of those involved. We've got Christopher Heights involved in this. A number of trucks involved already. Kingdom Motorsports number 79 there for Tyler Dixon. Not looking good, sitting sideways. And we'll have to take a step back here, take a look at that one. Also, I see Corey Danielson having a problem. Andrew Stab having an issue. Oh my goodness me. Sean Briscoe has just emerged out of the pits as well. Let's get this one queued up here, see if we can tell exactly what happened with Dixon. Let's see if we can take a look overhead, and maybe that will tell us. Looks like he had help around there from that number 85 truck, I believe it is.
Yeah, that was Cody Reeder of the 85. And I tell you, I think he tried getting down to the bottom real quick because the bottom lane is dominant. So he dove down there, wasn't expecting Tyler to brake so quick, and then just sent him around here. Yeah, there it is.
He even tried to come back to the outside to avoid it, I think, or maybe carry out that speed, but nothing he could do. And, of course, makes contact with Tyler Dixon. So a couple of trucks involved with this one. And we wait to see whether or not we can get this going for more than a few laps at a time. Once again, I'm Trevor Greenfield. Pleasure to have you here on VirtualRacing.Network. Alongside me is Christian Snyder. And we are eventually set for, approximately 185 laps here tonight. We're hoping that the majority of them end up being green laps. There you can see Cody Reeder, KPR Motorsports Chevy, sitting now on pit road, trying to take some damage repair as well. The Tyler Dixon in that Kingdom Motorsports Chevy taking on more damage repair. Ronnie Norman still sitting on pit road. And you also have Torrid Shirts down there, along with Todd Slauson in that Full Send Motorsports number 22. So, well, you still got Andrew Staub there in the Full Send racing machine. Also Brad Fulham. So you still got a couple of trucks out there racing for you, Christian.
Yeah, Todd, he's been having such bad luck. I feel real bad for him because every race he's got a good shot at winning, and he's been collected in about every wreck this season that he can get into. It's not by his own doing. It's just wrong place, wrong time. Hopefully he gets it turned around soon here. Maybe whenever I get back, it'll be a morale boost, and he'll get some top fives coming up.
Well, he certainly has the speed. We've seen Slauson up there in the front many times before. It's just a matter, as you said, possibly of time to get him up there and get him comfortable again and feeling like that championship form that Todd Slauson is known for. As I mentioned, also Brad Fulham still in this field. And Andrew is up there in the top 10. He's currently racing in 8th place.
Yeah, and Andrew was able to, not able to join in a Chevy, so he's actually in the wrong manufacturer out there, which will be a penalty. But it happens whenever you join these races. You're in a hurry to join the wrong manufacturer. But Timothy Harper going to take a really good restart and extend his lead here, and a caution is out again.
Already back under caution. I believe that's going to end up being the name of the game tonight. I think eventually we'll get this thing going for some green flag laps, but Nick Geilis unfortunate recipient, I think, of some issue. We also had Cody Reeder, it says, going off track, so I'm not sure if it's Guylis or Reeder. That's your answer. Guylis did tag with Reeder, and Reeder went off track onto that grass to try to avoid, but two trucks trying to fit in the space of one. Looks like the Bud machine going to have some more damage repaired to do either on pit road or at the end of this one, but still, Timothy Harper, Cody Height, Josh Conover up there into that third spot. You knew it wouldn't be long until we were mentioning Josh Conover, his very talented abilities, and as I mentioned before, you know, 5 top 5 so far, and you really can't hardly beat that. So certainly very consistently up there in the results at the end of these races. Jake Vladelich sitting in that 4th spot, and Brian Jones sitting in 5th. We're gonna step aside here, take a little break. We'll come right back here on VirtualRacing.Network. Don't step away anywhere. Welcome back to VirtualRacing.Network. Here we go, just about to get underway again at Martinsville. 23 laps into this one. About to start our 24th lap, and we are green again at Martinsville. Can we stay green? That is really the question. Timothy Harper leads it back through turns 1 and 2. Here on the backstretch, it's Cody Height racing side by side, now ahead of Josh Conover in that number 17 truck. It's the red and white of Cody Height, one of the independents in the field in the NORA Truck Series, that is making a real name for himself, jumping now up into that 2nd spot. He's lost 1 position from where he started on the lead, but he's managed to climb back and start settling into that 2nd spot. Josh Conover, though, just behind, trying to take a look and possibly make a maneuver. Easier said than done here at Martinsville. I know in the real life series there's been a lot of complaints about practically impossible to pass here, but you got to take advantage where you can, Christian, and if you see a little bit of an opening, you got to go for it. Or do you think patience is the virtue? What's your strategy tonight?
I think since we've had so many cautions already, I think patience is a virtue, because forcing the issue is just, we've already seen cause a couple cautions. So just find the hole, get in whenever you can, don't force it. Down. Sorry, my mic cut through. We saw Cody Reeder force himself down to the bottom, and that didn't quite work out already. So it's definitely just patience tonight.
Well, these drivers having to learn here patience, and as a racing driver, as I said, you see see that gap, you want to go for it, but sometimes just to be able to stick it out until the end, that's the way to go. Cody Reeder, though, I think having a night to forget already, getting sideways, and looks like he does manage to get it going again. Not sure exactly what happened here. I did see that David McGuire had just passed Cody Reeder, so let's see if we can see exactly what happens here as McGuire tries to make that move down the inside on the 23, slides up the track, and it looks like the 85 goes around as a result of the contact. So not Reeder's fault there. Once again, we were just talking about it, but Christian, patience. You see that gap open up, but it's not necessarily good enough to just do a full send.
Yeah, I think Reeder right now is asking who's going to be next to hit me. I think he's been hit by three or four trucks already and has gone around, so he is not having a good night at all. But we saw what happened was he got on the curb and it shoots you up the track, and that curb is very dangerous here.
Indeed, these curbs always kind of dangerous. You got to watch out and see, what exactly is going to throw you down there, throw you to the side. It all kind of depends. It's sometimes it's a truck-to-truck contact. Sometimes you just get a little bit loose heading down into the corner, and either way, you always want to avoid those curbs. You want to avoid the grass. Certainly, you want to make sure that you keep it on the asphalt. And like we saw last week in the NORA Truck Series, you even want to avoid the dirt if you can, because if you can, you try to keep it on the smoother stuff because it's safer. It doesn't pile up underneath your car. But that's old. That's ancient history. We're not talking about dirt anymore. We're here. The blessings of asphalt. And these trucks should have a lot more grip, unfortunately. Once you get them up there onto the grass, they also have less grip. And onto those painted curbs, they have less grip as well. It's something else, too, Christian, when you're racing at a track that's a little bit higher speed, for example, the D-shaped ovals, I know that's one of the aspects that you never want to do is get down low onto that apex paint that's down there right at the apex. A lot of times that paint is gonna throw your truck sideways and cause havoc. So obviously the lines that are painted on the track to separate the lanes are not going to do that to you, but you really do have to watch either the curbing or the paint down at the apex and just make sure it's just yet another thing to look out for as you're driving.
Yeah, and certain tracks also have those grooves or seams. I think Auto Club is one of the major tracks that has that, where if you get on a seam, you get loose. And Phoenix had the paint. If you got on the paint, you got loose. So it's actually really amazing how iRacing does it, because just like in real life, if you get on that paint at Phoenix, you get loose. And if you get on the curb here, you get super tight and actually shoot up the track. So we saw that just take place, and the pace car is going to pull off here, and our front row is going to be Timmy Harper and Josh Conover. Not surprised that these two are up front. Really good short track racers.
Absolutely. So I guess Conover getting that position from height now moved Conover up 4 spots, and we are green again here at Martinsville. 35 laps is the mark at the moment. Still racing side by side between Height and Conover. Conover taking that spot momentarily, but here comes Height back on the inside. This is a good battle already going between Height and Conover. I mean, forget about the yellows for a second. We've already seen some good battles here at the front. We can see Height, Conover still racing side by side around this track. It's giving Brian Jones a real chance to close up there. Jones is no stranger to Victory Circle, but also he's going to take a look down the inside of Cody Height. As Height and it looked like Conover made a little bit of contact through the corner, and now it looks like Conover possibly getting spun a little bit from Jacob Gladelich. Just a little bit of right front to left rear contact there between Gladelich, and we've got a truck into the wall. I believe it's Zach Hollinger and Christopher Heights. Stopped right now on track. Oh my goodness. difficulties for these two. Not all is pleasant happenings for Harper Motorsports, as height really has an issue. Let's see if we can back this one up. Take a look from Height's point of view, exactly what takes place. Actually, we'll look from Hollinger's point of view here. That's Height's just behind. It's Hollinger that gets sideways, and with nowhere to go, Height's forced to plow directly into the side. See it from Height's point of view, and you can see exactly what he saw heading into the corner. There's Hollinger just up in front. On the number 13 slides up the track. Height's tries to take evasive action, but once again, nowhere to go. He backs it up. Now Hollinger and Height's on pit lane at the moment. So 12 laps or so until the end of the first stage, and Conover now taking a pit as well. Not sure if Conover meant to necessarily take a pit stop here. It's like, I'll back it up here because Briscoe made an issue. Just bring it down to a stop pretty much. Looks like Briscoe really had to bring it down to a stop. In fact, there's a couple of other trucks having an issue there. That's Todd Schneider and Cody Dorsey involved, as well as Michael Scheel having another incident. So that was a totally separate incident that forces these trucks now to make a pit stop. So already a lot of trucks possibly looking to go a lap down. Everybody from, I think, from 17th on back now, at least one lap down. So we're already seeing a ton of attrition here in the opening stages at Martinsville, and at this rate, Kim Harper won't have to do anything to win this race. Everybody else will be cleared out by lap 120. Josh Conover, though, comes back out of the pits. He's at 12th place. Driver out of New Jersey is racing for points and up there in the championship. So basically, he needs to get back up there and race with Brian Jones, and he's in a neck-to-neck battle with Jones in this championship. So Jones currently sitting up in that third spot, Cody Height in second, and Harper in first. We're about to get going here once again at Martinsville, as the lights are off on that pace car. Corey Danielson appears so having a little bit of also an issue there under caution. Unfortunately, getting news that Ronnie Norman has parked it for the evening. Stephen Dombrowski, we certainly appreciate you checking in with us, but be the bearer of bad news there. We are underway again here at Martinsville. Lap number 43, just 7 laps to go until we get to the end of stage number 1. Here's Dylan Walterman, the number 1 Toyota truck, now currently up there racing side by side with Jacob, actually just in front of Jacob Vladelich. Now Walterman up 16 spots as a result of not taking a pit stop. One of the top 10 who has not yet hit it. Back here, we're still racing side by side. This is Dylan Jones racing for owner points tonight, side by side with, I believe, Brad Fulham. Full-Send Motorsports, actually Fulham just behind there in that number 91 truck. And there on the outside, the 00, that's Dylan Jones racing with Nick Geilis. That is back for 9th place. These trucks very, very close to one another. We see a couple of trucks sliding off the back there, starting to fall back, and now there comes Josh. Yes, it is Josh. Josh down the inside of the 91 of Brad Fulham. That's one of Christian's trucks. Looks like Christian stepping aside for just a moment. As we mentioned, unfortunately, Christian feeling a little bit under the weather at the moment, so we're just so happy that he could take over for us a little bit earlier on. But hopefully we'll get Christian back here in the booth before too long. Here, taking a look, it does look like Conover has managed to put it up into 10th. And now we've got another caution, this one for Hollinger again. Can't tell what happened with him this time. This is Hollinger racing with the number 23 truck, who sends that 13 around. Before you know it, back underway again, but not before bringing out that caution. That was David McGuire, one of the independents in the field. So with that, we're going to go ahead and step aside. You'll watch these leaders come down pit lane on lap number 48. And we'll be right back here on VirtualRacing.Network. Stay tuned, everyone. Welcome back here on VirtualRacing.Network. Well, the way that you see it is how they finished the first stage. Cody Reeder taking the win of stage number 1 as Tim Harper and Brian Jones and a couple of others decided to pit. So that left Reeder, Dorsey, and I believe McGuire. Actually, Reeder, McGuire, and then Dorsey. McGuire has since pitted. So we're going to continue around here as it looks like possibly Todd Schneider having a moment. This was just a second ago. Joey States, not sure if we actually have an incident. Trucks having a moment, so they just kind of pulled to the inside there. This was, I think, to let some other trucks go by. Either way, going green, I believe, next time by, as now the pace lights are off on the truck, on the pace car. Interesting they use the pace car for the truck series when you often see the truck for all of the cars. But either way, we're just about to get going again. Would you believe it's Cody Reeder for KPR Motorsports who's going to lead us back to the green flag?
I mean, he has already spun 4 times tonight, and now he's in the lead, so very impressive job here. As it looks like Zach Hollinger second, he also spun earlier tonight, so maybe that's the way you got to do it. You got to spin it to win it. And, oh, we got contact, and around we go.
Walterman has made contact, and around he goes. He's taking Schneider and Scheel with him. Schneider there, and Scheel still sitting close to where Walterman was. Well, it didn't last very long. For those of you who are fans of the color yellow tonight, I believe you're going to love this race. Here is Walterman. You know, we were just talking about it, and I don't think taking the shortcut through the grass has ever paid off in any racetrack, and Walterman looks like he got a little bit loose on entry and decided to do a little bit of grass clipping here at Martinsville. Let's take a look from on board Walterman's Toyota, and there he gets into that truck of Scheel. Then reverses on the track, which is always another good idea, and then manages to get that truck flipped around and pointed in the correct direction. That is one dirty-looking truck there out Scheel. That thing has already seen much, much better days. So continuing on is Cody Reeder at the front with Zach Hollinger in second. Now Timmy Harper up there into third. And got that number 99 for Harper Motorsports finally up into podium position territory. We are seeing Nick Geilis now making a trip down pit lane, and Dylan Walterman also going to take on some of that damage repair. We'll take another momentary break. We'll be right back here on VirtualRacing.Network. You won't miss anything. And welcome back here on VirtualRacing.Network. Just about to come back to the green flag. You can see it. Cody Reeder, Timmy Harper on that front row. And we are back to green flag again. And it looks like Harper and Reeder make contact coming to the green flag. And Harper taking that position now up there into the front. Reeder into second. Cody Dorsey into third. And Dorsey rides it up the track. Here comes Zach Hollinger on the inside. Hollinger was just involved in another incident. How is he possibly now up into third? But he is into third. That's, I guess, the paperclip for you. It's good old short track racing. 1 minute you're wrecking, the next minute you're winning.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, it almost seems like you have to spin early in order to win late, because everyone or two of the top three have spun already at least twice today, so that's incredible.
But this is one of the drivers that you would expect to be up there in the top five. Brian Jones was the points leader for several races coming into this previous race, and then everything changing with the dirt. Now it's Jones pretty much by himself, as Josh Conover has slipped all the way back to 10th. Now you see side by side Jones going for that position on the number 13 of Zach Hollinger, and taking that position moved Brian Jones back up into third. On
back in the field, we did have an incident looks like the 38 of Cody Dorsey got into the wall and got passed by, I think, about 4 trucks there within that lap. So that was unfortunate for Cody Dorsey back there.
There you can see Dorsey on your screen for one of the other drivers for Harper Motorsports, all the way back in 11. And looks like he's sliding up the track, so that truck may not be working the way that Cody wants it to work. Now here comes the 43 down the inside. That's not for position, however. That is the 43 of Joey States, who is back in 21st position. So I think that may say just how messed up that Cody Dorsey Ford really is there for Harper. But in the meantime, back up front, it is Timmy Harper who currently leads it. The number 99 truck has emerged at the front, taken 2 positions since the start. Now his Ford for Harper Motorsports is at the front by a good margin, pulling out about 10 car lengths over Cody Reeder there in the KPR Motorsports. Cody Reeder, once again, was spinning just a minute ago, and now is finding himself up here into second, up 3 spots so far from where he started. Congratulations to him. However, another yellow flag, this time again involving Michael Shield. There he's sitting on pit lane, and I think he's decided to pull the plug. I think 3 times is enough for him.
Yeah, either that or he has already reached the number of cautions that you can bring out. This league has more cautions. You're parked for the race.
Indeed, and certainly Michael Shield there having a little bit of a funny moment as he tried to slide his truck down the track, and he encountered some of those really horrific one of those horrific curves that bounced his truck up into the air. But either way, we have seen so much attrition here so far. This has been something else to see, as we're now working on that 8th caution. We haven't even made it 80 laps into this one, so perhaps it's going to be time to put up our poll here. Ronnie Norman checking in with us, saying lost talent on lap 5. Bummer. We'll be back tomorrow, unfortunately, for Steven Dombrowski and the Ronnie Norman fan club on YouTube chat. It looks like Ronnie Norman going to park it for the night. And Steven Dombrowski says, I hear they sell it in 6-pack cans of talent. So perhaps giving a clue to his friend Ronnie that he might want to get some liquid courage next time he heads out there. But either way, I hope that Ronnie enjoys his evening, gets well rested. He'll need it for tomorrow night's race. If it's going to be anything like tonight, Christian, he's going to need all the rest he can get to get through tomorrow night's Cup race. But either way, we invite everybody to join us here on VirtualRacing.Network again tomorrow night. Of course, VirtualRacing.Network, the home of the NORA Truck Series and the NORA Cup Series all season long. You won't want to go anywhere else. So make sure you subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Like this video, and you'll be able to be notified of upcoming races tomorrow night. Same track. This time it'll be the NASCAR Next Gen Series cars for the NORA Cup Series. That will be that should be exciting. Let's just say it that way. No more dirt cushion to have to involve these the splitters on those NASCAR Next Gen Cup cars, but still gonna have to contend with the patience issue, which seems to be affecting these drivers out here tonight. Just not able to quite stay patient in some circumstances, trying to take advantage of gaps that open up. But here's a new name that we haven't been talking about tonight. Up 10 spots for Flatline Motorsports. It's Keegan Bitzer, who's now up into 6th place. Going to be racing alongside his teammate Josh Conover there for the start. So the number 5 truck racing here, potentially going to be looking at a top 5 Timothy Harper alongside Brian Jones of Brian Powell Motorsports, and we're back underway here at Martinsville. Down to the inside goes Cody Reeder, not quite able to take that position. Cody Reeder on board with him. Look at that Brian Jones truck. That thing has already been beat to heck.
That's a product of this track. You get down into the bottom and it's just bumper to bumper, and at the end of the night there's not going to be a single truck that's clean. The inside is just bumper heaven. the old chrome horn, if you will.
Absolutely. I mean, the chrome horn, but that rear deck lid there with the spoiler coming off the back, that thing has got scrapes of paint. It's deformed. But
that cat is not happy right now.
And from being a normal cat to a grumpy cat already here is partway through this one. I mean, this is some serious damage, but fortunately a short track like this, aerodynamics not really going to play much of a role. Now, we've seen this before, even at some of the aerodynamic tracks in real life. A little bit of deformation of the car can actually aid the aerodynamics at times in a weird way. So certainly possibly the case here, but either way, Brian Jones, he knows how to drive them bent up. He knows how to drive them clean. And right now, if I was Timothy Harper, I would not want him to be seeing that number 45 in my rearview mirror.
Yeah, Brian Jones has already gotten a championship in NORA in the Truck Series, so he knows how to get it done. And I made the mistake, I think, earlier this season, your first broadcast, I said Brian Jones won the championship last year. He did not. He won it 2 years ago. Last year was, I believe, Cody Reeder's teammate, who is not here. He races in the Cup Series. So drawing a blank on his name at the moment. That's terrible of me because he's won like 15 races last season, so I should know it. But yeah, he won the championship last year, so I did make that mistake earlier.
Well, certainly Timmy Harper here running away with this one, so to speak. Nobody really able to touch him on the restarts. Brian Jones sitting in second place at the moment. Jones running hard for Brian Powell Motorsports, and really I would say that Jones, if anybody can challenge Timothy Harper, it will be Jones. Reeder has been strong here tonight, but I don't think he has what it takes on these restarts to possibly look for taking the win. But then again, it still is early. We're still not even close to halfway, and of course halfway will mark the end of stage 2. So we'll see whether we see some new trucks starting to come forward here momentarily. I wouldn't be surprised to see some of these trucks starting to come forward. But either way, it's been a good one. If certainly interesting thus far. Lots of carnage if you're into that sort of thing, and trucks spinning around and flying this way and that. But either way, I think we're starting to settle into the bulk of tonight's race, and this is turning into a very good one with Timothy Harper and Brian Jones at the front. I think Brian is just starting to size up Timothy Harper. He's trying to look and I think Brian is running that lower line through the corners. Timothy's preferring to go about to the mid groove here. As you can see, a little bit of a diamond shape for Brian. Timothy kind of running that easy in on the middle, bringing it down just a little bit on exit. And tough to say who's going to gain the advantage here, but definitely two very different lines for these two drivers here.
Yeah, and I know some insider information that Timothy Harper, big fan of Ryan Blaney, but right now he is running the Chase Elliott line. We saw in real life, if everyone watched it, Chase Elliott loves to run the middle of the track, kind of cut down on exit instead of what Brian Jones is doing and wrapping the corner. So Timothy maybe watched that race and picked up on what Chase Elliott was doing and is now replicating that in iRacing.
Well, obviously these drivers, with aerodynamics really not being a factor, and now we do have Dylan Walterman having a moment, and we're not seeing where in fact he had that problem, so let's go ahead and take a look back here. But a lot of these drivers, you know, if they, oh, and it looks like Walterman just kind of steps on the gas and gets sideways, spins it around, gets a little extra help, and then gets back underway here for a full 360. But I'm just going to say, you know, if this thing does get running the full length, you are going to have to look at tire wear as being a problem. There are 5 sets of tires that are available to these drivers, but if it goes green for a long time, you won't want to make a green flag pit stop. So Conover now into the pits, Guileless into the pit, and Walterman looks like he's going to take repairs, as well as Andrew Staub for Full Send Motorsports now into pit lane. So with that, we're yellow again for our 9th caution of the night here on lap 90. Will it be every 10 laps we'll have a caution? Stay tuned and find out here on VirtualRacing.Network. We'll be back in a moment. Back here, VirtualRacing.Network. I'm Trevor Greenfield, joined in the booth tonight by Christian Snyder. And so far, it's been, well, if you like yellow handkerchiefs, you've seen it waving at the flag stand 9 times tonight. So we've got about 7 more laps until we hit, actually 6 more laps until we hit the end of stage number 2. We'll see another yellow handkerchief come out. In the meantime, it's Timothy Harper with Cody Height in second. Now Brian Jones dives down to that bottom line, tries to take that position back from Cody Height. Brian Jones not quite able to do so. Height hanging up on the outside. And right now it's Ford's in the top 4 positions. Jones keeps fighting there with Height. Jones on that inside line. He's taking a look, and he does manage to finally get Height for that second spot. Grumpy Cat, indeed, looking at all that damage that Brian Powell is going to have to pay for eventually. But that's just the product. We were just talking about this, Christian, at off the air there, and really, you know, this is just a product of Martinsville. It's just short track racing. There's nowhere to go. People trying to make passes, they're going to get into you. You're going to get into other trucks while you're racing. It doesn't matter what kind of car, what kind of truck it is. This is just the way that it's going to work out.
Yeah, we saw it in the real life truck race. Kyle Busch was
Looks like we lost Christian's mic there for a second, and it did look like also Tim Harper blinked out. Joey States there having an issue, and I see also Sean Briscoe, Christopher Heights caught up in this. There, Briscoe, my goodness, truck has always looked much better than that while it's been on VirtualRacing.Network. So let's step back and see what happened here. This was, you see Briscoe running behind Joey States and Christopher Heights. There, it looks like States gets turned around and
yeah, I believe that was Todd Schneider that got him.
And yes, it does look like Todd Schneider did manage to get into, unfortunately, States. And unfortunately, it looked like Briscoe just kind of caught in the middle of that one. So let's see if we can tell one more time here what happened from Briscoe's point of view. Here's Briscoe following along, and there's the turning, and he himself gets turned and into that inside wall. Like another truck getting in the middle of that one. That might have been Height. Yes, in fact, it was Height. Got wrapped up into that. You see his truck certainly not looking too hot itself. Here is one more view this time. We'll take it from Height's point of view and take a look forward. It looks like that damage had actually happened before this incident had ever occurred. See him wrecking in front. Height's getting through there. Just barely getting through. So the number 18 from Harper has seen better days. That time not too affected by that incident, but Gladelich now in, Andrew Staub in, and we've got Sean Briscoe now into the pits as well. We're on our 10th caution. We'll be right back after this. Stay tuned on VirtualRacing.Network. Welcome back to Martinsville Speedway as we have a new leader. It's Josh Conover for Flatline Motorsports, who did not end up winning that stage. However, he does take over at the lead, and Keegan Blitzer in second with Nick Geilis in third. Brian Jones now in fourth position. And now they're racing 3 wide into the corner. That's not going to work. And it looks like Cody Reeder manages to get once again into the grass, but keeps it going here on lap number 105. And we have not gone yellow, so still green here as it's Conover, Jones, Geilis, and Harper, with Bitzer now in 5th place.
Yeah, that was a product of new tires behind old tires, and guys with new tires just tried getting underneath the guys with old tires, and looked like Cody Reeder got the worst of it there.
Certainly did get the worst of it, and now it looks like Dylan Jones racing side by side with Cody Height. Height on the inside. Jones gets trapped on that outside line, and Height back up into 6th place. Height ran through most of that second stage, was running in 2nd position or 3rd position, and now he's going to try to climb back up there. He didn't start up there in the front, so he's going to have to get back once again. Here he goes down to the inside. number 16 down inside of that number 5 of Keegan Bitzer. And he manages to take over that 5th spot once again. Just up in front, it's Tim Harper and Nick Geilis racing side by side. There's Harper on the inside, the green-black truck. Of course, he led most of the opening first 2 stages, and then finally, after pitting, having a chance to get a little bit of service. We've got another incident, I believe. Vladelich tangling with the 0-0 of Jones. Jones now sitting sideways on the track. That's going to bring out our 11th caution. It looks like Vladelich and Jones. So let's take a look here at exactly what brought out this caution. And by the way, if you're sitting over in our YouTube chat room, feel free to vote in tonight's poll of the night. How many cautions will we have here at Martinsville Motor Speedway? There you see Vladelich just kind of getting sideways, checking up into Jones. So I'm not sure exactly what went wrong there, but we'll check out this one more time. Let's hop on board. Well, steps on the gas, just kind of overcorrects. It's kind of like, I mean, Christian, that to me, that just looked like a tank slapper, if anything.
Yeah, I think he thought it was going to step out a lot more than it did, and overcorrected for it, and just lost control of it there. How did Ronnie put it in chat? Ran out of talent. It's one of those.
Indeed, perhaps ran out of talent, but certainly Ronnie's not out of talent. He just had a moment. I think all these drivers really struggling with Martinsville and the handling characteristics on the truck, and certainly to go from light fuel, used tires, to brand new tires, heavy fuel. It's quite a transition, and on a short track like this, you're accelerating out of corners, and it can feel quite different. Second lap, first lap. I mean, it really takes a while to get the tires warmed up and get the truck settled.
Yeah, it definitely takes a few laps, especially on cold tires. You need to warm them up too. Cold tires don't have as much grip as the warmer tires, so you got to get like 3 or 4 laps before they're really ready to go.
Yeah, and indeed we see now Staub, Reeder, Heights now coming in for their pit stops, and they'll take advantage of this caution to put on fresh tires. So with that, we're going to step aside again and count our nickels, and we'll be back here momentarily on VirtualRacing.Network. Stay tuned. Like that, we're ready to go here once again at Martinsville, and we are green. Back underway for Josh Conover, Brian Jones, your top 2. Here comes Tim Harper down the inside, the 99 past the 45. You can't even read the 45 on the side of Brian Jones' car anymore. That truck has seen better days, that is for sure. Just kind of like, it's like gray on the side of that truck now, completely down to the metal.
Oh, and look at this. Height going to get under Brian Jones. His teammate in front of him, Timmy Harper, he used him to get under Brian Jones there. Great move by Cody Height.
Clever move by Cody Height, using Harper as a pick to get through, and now we're maybe seeing Brian Jones struggle for the very first time tonight. It seemed like he had a truck that was ready to get up there and run in second, but tell you what, back up in front, the favorite, Josh Conover here, he may own and run the NORA Truck Series, but he is one awesome driver behind the wheel, and he's shown it again tonight. He's basically trying to take over this lead and hold on to it in the Truck Series. Not a surprise after the types of performances that Conover has had. And now we're hearing another truck having an issue. I think it's Hollinger. Hollinger getting sideways, multiple trucks slowing down. The number 5 truck comes to a stop there. That's Keegan Bitzer. But I think everybody gets it going again. You know, I think everybody's so heads up with the number of cautions that we've had. Everybody just kind of came to a stop. Nobody was really fighting to get that position or anything. I think, Christian, they finally started to wise up that, like, hey, we're going to keep having cautions. Let's just come to a stop and not get into another truck.
Yeah, I'm hoping that's the case, that we got a little bit of a smarter heads now for the rest of the night, because we early we saw, I think it was a five or six truck pile up, 3 truck pile up. That one, just 2 self spins there.
Well, either way, if you had used tonight as the first night to trial a how many cautions will there be drinking game to follow along with tonight's action, you would be on your 12th beverage, and you may not be conscious anymore. So either way, hopefully you're drinking non-alcoholic out there and it's not affecting you in the same way. But we hope you're having fun watching on VirtualRacing.Network. Trevor Greenfield, joined as I have been the past few nights of truck racing, by Christian Snyder, and it's great to have him with us to share in the pain a little bit and just get us through. You know, Christian, tell us a little bit about what it's like to be a driver in one of these races. I mean, I've done it myself, caution after caution after caution. What is it like to encounter all these cautions? What do you do as a driver to keep yourself focused? You know, what's your strategy? And I assume you've been through some of these races before.
Oh yeah, I've been a part of that's a tongue twister. Multiple Martinsville races in NORA, and I've actually been multiple cautions in this race. So yeah, I definitely know what it's like. I've actually been booted out of Martinsville for causing too many cautions before, but those were in my younger days. The only thing you can do is just work your way to the front with strategy and hope you're not involved in a wreck. You just got to have smarter heads throughout the night and know that it's going to happen. Just try to stay in front of it.
And you just got to do your best, as you said, to stay one step ahead of the game and anticipate where you can. Like I said, it's like some of these drivers are finally starting to realize that maybe they just come to a stop and not fight as much for position and try and send it going forward than we have seen as some of these drivers trying to think of the long game here. I think Torrance Shirts may be having another incident. And speaking of Torrance Shirts for BS Motorsports, Torrance truck back there, the number 33. It's actually still got most of its pieces still on it, which is good news. We're now back underway. Josh Conover leads it back with the number 4. I'm sorry, the number 17, excuse me. And we're already yellow again. Joey States, Keegan Bitzer, a couple of other trucks having an issue. Here's Keegan Bitzer sitting sideways. If we can jump back to that one and tell exactly what happened. It looks like Nick Geilis also involved. Bitzer here. And it looks like perhaps Geilis getting into... couldn't tell who that was in front, but getting into...
That would have been
truck.
Brad Fulham getting into Geilis, got into his back bumper and sent Geilis around. So I think that's another one of those cases of you don't expect the truck to brake as early as they did, and just got into the back bump here. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Brian Jones dive bombed down to the bottom, blocked Nick Geilis, and it caused him to brake a lot earlier than normal. So that's going to be interesting because we do know that Brian Jones is on probation from last week. He got into that altercation with Timmy Harper, and I don't know how they're going to roll this one. If he caused that caution by blocking, he may be parked for the race because he is on probation.
Interesting stuff. Snyder keeping up with the happenings each and every race, and certainly there was some heat under some collars with some retaliatory driving last week, and that did place Brian Jones. And it was kind of weird to watch, honestly. Jones has had so much success, but he and Tim Harper having an incident, and then that leading for retaliatory driving. And as a result, probably could have mentioned this at the top of the broadcast, but placed on probation for several races, and we'll have to wait and see what the fallout is. But right now, as it stands, Conover on the top spot. In second, Timothy Harper. Third, Cody Height. Brian Jones still sitting in fourth. Todd Schneider up 14 positions in that 86 truck. And tell you what, we're looking at the back end of that thing, and it's there's no straight angles anywhere on that truck either. But somehow he's managed to get that Toyota up there into the top five.
Yeah, it's one of those situations that you said that the spoiler doesn't really matter here at Martinsville, so you can bend that thing as much as you want, and it's not going to affect performance. But what is going to affect performance is that front bumper of his. That is not looking good. Maybe the radiator might have a little bit of trouble at the end of the race. A lot of money will go into that one, but yeah, the aerodynamics don't really matter here. It's more so the engine and the suspension that matter.
Well, I tell you, Christian, it's good. It's good that back in the day, NASCAR mandated that you have to put your number up on the roof for the scorers, because some of these trucks are not going to have any numbers left on the sides of them. The only way you're going to be able to tell who it is by that number up on the roof. And either way, it's back to Conover, Height, and Harper, your top three, with Dorsey, Brian Jones, and then there is Brad Fulham for Full Send Motorsports. So Full Send just about to get potentially a truck up into the top five. We're back underway here, and it looks like, was it Dorsey didn't get going? There's Dorsey, had real trouble there with that start, getting backed up. Now it looks like racing side by side. Gladelich possibly going to take that position as well. So Dorsey now sliding back into the seventh spot.
That's a little bit of broadcasters jinx there. Has now got Fulham outside of the top 10 now.
Well, that's what we do best here on VirtualRacing.Network. First the drivers, the series, the tracks. It's always a full moon on VirtualRacing.Network. Back at the front, though, Conover with no issues, opening up an early 5-truck length lead back to Cody Height. Looks like Conover's got the truck to beat here now. We'll see if in 70 laps he can manage to keep it there. But Height in that 16 truck, slowly starting to creep in potentially into this picture, is Timothy Harper for Harper Motorsports. And then there is Brian Jones just behind. So remember, these drivers, Conover, Harper, Jones, really racing for this championship. And this is the fight that we wanted to see at the front of this race. We might see a battle now happening between these three drivers, and you can see Height racing for owner's points, kind of caught in the middle of this one, but trying to also go for that overall race win. And Height's doing a great job of it, one of the few independents here in the field, and hanging with the top teams at the moment.
Height is labeled as independent, but I believe he's affiliated in some sort with Harper Motorsports. Maybe not directly on the team, but definitely aligned with them. So that's why you see Timmy racing him pretty easy. We know Timmy is very aggressive, so he's racing his teammate with a little bit of respect here.
Well, that's certainly the case, and we'll see if we can get a correction next week, see if that has changed. But you know how that works. Sometimes you're not officially part of a team. You're just going at it yourself, but you got friends that are racing in those other teams. We saw Timmy Harper there get down to the inside, take over that second spot, and now Height falling out of that top spot, falling back into fourth. So it's now Conover, Harper, and Jones, your top three. I think Height was maybe holding up Tim Harper there, and he decided to have a go.
Yeah, I think Height still on the older tires as well as Conover. If I'm not mistaken, Harper and Brian Jones have about 20 lap newer tires than Conover, so I wouldn't be surprised if Harper and Jones run them down here. As we see Height getting real loose, he goes around. That's going to bring out a caution.
Height does go around. He had last come in on lap 99, as did Tim Harper. Josh Conover with even older tires last time coming in on lap 89. But Brian Jones on lap 119 and Jacob Vladelich on 126. So with that, we're going to see Conover, Harper come down into pit lane along with Vladelich, actually going to try to join them down there. And that will leave Brian Jones out there on the track. So he will effectively take over the race lead as Conover now makes his way down pit lane to take that service.
I think staying out here is probably the right call because we're going to have roughly 55, 56 laps to go. And if it continues the way it has with cautions about every 10 laps, track position is everything. So with Brian Jones being up the front, he can control this race and almost block and possibly win this race. So I don't think you're going to see Brian Jones, Dorsey, Bitzer, Schneider pit the rest of the race. I think they've made their bed at this point.
And we'll have to see if that's the case. I mean, it's going to be a long stretch for these drivers to have to stretch those tires, but if that's the case, we may have a battle happen towards the end for the drivers who do have the newer tires. Either way, you saw Conover and Harper overlapping as they came out of the pits. Harper winning that battle, getting out just ahead of Conover, and maybe that 20 laps difference will make a difference. We did just see Height struggle with his tires on that restart and go around after several laps. So anybody's race still here at Martinsville, as now Brian Jones is in the lead. We've had multiple different leaders, now having Cody Dorsey up 15 positions, sitting in second place. Todd Schneider in third. He's up 16 spots. Keegan Bitzer up 12 spots. 3 different manufacturers represented in the top 4. Tim Harper back there in 5th with Josh Conover in 6th. We've got some serious action to happen here yet to come on VirtualRacing.Network. You don't want to go anywhere. Make sure you get that favorite beverage of yours ready to go. We're just about to jump back to the green flag, and I think we're going to have ourselves a good old-fashioned 50-lap short track shootout. These drivers, really, as we just saw, once it does get going green again, these are very short laps. So, 19 seconds around here is a very short lap, Christian. And, if this goes green again, you won't have a lot of time to try to work yourself up to the front. So, a lot of strategy playing out right now at this exact second. Do you want to be on those newer tires? Did you want to make this pit stop? How hard are you going to press on this restart, given that there isn't that many laps left? Either way, about to come back to the green flag, and Brian Jones will lead it. Timothy Harper on the outside, Josh Conover in third. And I don't know about that call now for Brian Jones to stay out there on those older tires, but you, Christian, you seem to feel like that was a good move.
I did with 3 trucks behind him, but all 3 of those trucks ended up pitting and 1 got penalized. So now, not that great of a move because Harper is right there on those fresh tires. So I think he's going to do quick work, maybe not very quick work, but I would say within the next he almost went for it there. But I think within the next 5 laps, he'll be the leader here.
He's taking a look, checking his list twice, and
caution.
just like that, he was starting to size up Jones. I think we've got a caution come out for Corey Danielson. Let's see. Capital Motor Club driver now getting that truck back underway. Let's step it back here and take a look and see if we can figure out what happened. Danielson brings it in, just starts to get away from him on entry. He overcorrects and up into that outside wall, doing a little bit more damage than there was before.
Yeah, that's a situation of putting a little bit too much rear brake into it, and he just looped himself around. And the brake bias is such an important thing here. Too much front, you're going to lock up going into the corner. Too much rear, you're going to do exactly what the 19 did there and wheel hop and go around.
Well, with that, we're going to step aside once again here. For those of you playing bingo over in our YouTube chat room, we're on our 15th caution, so those of you who had more than 15 cautions, you're already looking good for the end of the night. You'll win a free Altoid Mint, courtesy of myself, Trevor Greenfield. Stay tuned here on VirtualRacing.Network. Welcome back here, VirtualRacing.Network, as we get ready to roll here once again at Martinsville. They head down into turn number 1 with Jones in front. Conover taking that move once again to Harper, now side by side through the corner. And it looks like Conover going to take the lead on the outside, still hanging out there on that outside. We've got a truck possibly making contact with the wall. Don't see any cautions coming out yet, so we keep it on this battle. Conover sitting in second, Harper in third, Guileless in fourth, and Christopher Height in fifth place at the moment. Starting to settle into nose to tail. Seems to be the only way that these trucks can avoid making contact. Stop racing side by side, but here comes Conover on the low side. Possibly going to try to take a look around the inside of Jones. He's trying to size him up. We've seen Conover make this move before.
Something we don't usually see out of Conover is him using the chrome horn, but you got to wonder how much is he willing to do to win the race here, because he wants to win, and he doesn't want Brian Jones to win. And there's contact there. He doesn't want Brian Jones to win because they battled for the championship for, I think, 4 seasons straight. And Brian Jones has gotten the better of Josh most of the time. So Josh is he's got to get by Brian Jones now in case of caution.
Josh takes a look to the outside. He's going to try to pin Jones down to that low side run. Is it going to work for him? He's got the run down into the corner, but will he clear him? You know, this is one of those times when maybe the outside not quite long enough to be able to pull that position off.
Oh, Timmy Harper, real loose moment. He wheel hopped.
He did indeed. I could hear the squealing here from Booth. And Harper loses that spot to Nick Geilis, who his truck running by. That Geilis 24, you can't read the number on the side of that thing either on the left side. So these trucks have been beaten and banging tonight. It's like Days of Thunder. There's not a square inch on these trucks that hasn't been damaged.
Oh, no.
Oh, my goodness. Tim Harper sends Geilis around.
Yeah, in just a moment. Timmy also had probation from last week, if I'm not mistaken. Both of them were probation, and that was kind of clear that Timmy dive bombed the corner. So I'm curious on what's going to happen here.
Well, I don't know. Race control can take a look at that one and address the penalties as they might be necessary. But either way, Nick Geilis was running really strong there. Driver out of Lake City, Florida, had a really good night working for Nightmare Motorsports. As a result, now he's back in 12th place, and he may be a lap down as a result. Yes, he is, in fact, shown a lap down at the moment. So what was working on a top 4 has now gone back to possibly trying to get his lap back, and that's unfortunate stuff. Looks like Brian Jones will take over the lead here with Josh Conover in second, Tim Harper in third. Brad Fulham for Full Send Motorsports up there into that 4th spot, up 20 positions tonight, and Christopher Height up into 5th. We'll be right back here on VirtualRacing.Network. Stay tuned. Back to VirtualRacing.Network. Big developments here as Christian Snyder will let us know from the pits.
Yeah, we saw there during the caution, Timmy pulled down to the pits. That was because the call came down that he is parked for the race due to the probation. causing a caution the following week. But we are back green as Brian Jones takes a commanding lead on that restart, and Josh is going to drop in second. And my guy, Brad Fulham from Full Send, in third place in the podium for the first time this season, so hopefully he can stay up there.
Well, and good news about Brad is he's not part of that probation club, and certainly he's been keeping it very clean thus far. We're seeing a big battle happening back here between Keegan Bitzer and Cody Height. I have a feeling that Harper just blew his engine on purpose in the pit lane. I'll be walking around and cleaning that one up for a little bit of time. But either way, Brian Jones leading it back here, and Josh Conover in that second spot, still looking to see if he can get back up alongside like he was just before we got to the caution there. And Cody Height battling with Keegan Bitzer really for this fifth spot. Bitzer not willing to give it up, and Height just trying to stay in that top five. But so far, it has been Brian Jones and Josh Conover. We saw Tim Harper having a great run here at Martinsville, but unfortunately, due to some decision-making, Harper benched for the rest of this race, and so that is giving Brad Fulham in the 91 truck for Full Send Motorsports a chance at a podium here. And that could be some pretty cool stuff to watch if you're Christian Snyder and you're the owner of Full Send. That could be some pretty cool stuff. Unfortunately, we're seeing some more issues here with Schneider and Schertz on the track having a moment. The 38 there of Dorsey as well.
I believe he's stuck. Maybe
Dorsey,
high-centered.
That's some unfortunate stuff. Cody Dorsey stuck in that truck. He's going to have to pit. He goes back to the pits, and that is going to, like, wasting no time whatsoever. Jones, Conover, Height, Vladelich all making a pit stop. That's going to leave Brad Fulham out there by himself. Tell us about this strategy of deciding to come down and take this pit stop right now if you're Brian Jones and Josh Conover.
Well, new tires are always great, and I don't know. Maybe it's a little bit too late in the race to take new tires, because now you're putting yourself in sixth place because there's going to be 5 trucks ahead of you. They're going to have to probably move people out of their way, and with Brian Jones being the one that's going to have to move them, he's on that probation, same as Timmy. So if he moves somebody and causes them to wreck, he'll be parked for the race. So he's got to be smart here. With 6 trucks ahead of him, he can't force his way through. He's going to have to work his way through.
Well, and that also, you know, what if they don't? I'm just wondering how many trucks are going to clear out in front, because Fulham's not going to pit. So are they going to send the lap trucks around?
The lap trucks, I believe they're stuck where they are. Right. I don't think they're going to be able.
So I mean, like, how many trucks are they going to have to try to get around? I mean, this is potentially really damaging stuff for Conover and for Jones, because I mean, we look at how far back they are. I mean, they're full straightaway away from the leaders at this point. How many trucks is that? It's like 10, 12 trucks. Oh, they are getting sent on the outside line, though.
They're actually passing the lap cars. The lap cars are going to be behind Jones, Conover, Reeder, Heights, and Gladelich. So this might be, it's going to be better, but there's still 4 trucks. I'm assuming the front 3 are all going to take the bottom lane. So maybe you get the second row for Brian Jones. Maybe it'll be easy. It's going to be interesting. This definitely shakes it up a lot.
Well, either way, the very first time that we have seen the Canadian flag up at the front here on VirtualRacing.Network coverage of the NORA Truck Series, we've got Brad Fulham for Full Send Motorsports, who is going to lead us back to the green flag. There's going to be just 25 laps remaining when we get started again. Do you think Brad can hang on to this one? It's he's got a distance back there to Brian Jones.
I hope he can hold on, but like I said, the first 3 cars take the bottom, so Brian Jones second row on the outside, as Fulham going to pull away early in the restart zone.
And he does a nice job. He does. He gets a couple of car lengths back to Cody Height, though here comes Height back on him. And Jones up there in that 3rd spot with Conover in 4th. And now Jones going to try the outside on Cody Height. Now tries the inside on Cody Height. Height takes it to the bottom of the track. That allows Conover to race up to the outside of Brian Jones. Now it's these 2 trucks battling it out for 3rd position, and every single lap is going to matter in this battle, Christian. So they're going to want to clear each other at some point and not be fighting with each other here on the track, because they're going to have to get up there and try and challenge for this lead. 24 laps remaining for Brad Fulham. Can he hold on? It's anyone's guess. Conover gets blocked in there behind Height on the outside lane. Here comes Jones down to the inside on the 16. Is he going to be able to take that position? They're scrapping a little bit further back also for position, but it's about 12 to 13 car lengths between Conover and further back. There is a yellow flag. It looks like it's Guylis who has another moment in that 24 truck, and now he'll pull it into pit lane.
Whew. I didn't have a chance to talk. You were catch your breath there, Trevor.
Well, a lot of good action there at the front. What do you have to say about that one, Christian? Some pretty good stuff.
That was interesting. I mean, Height did the right thing. He blocked every chance he got for Brian Jones, and the thing is, Brian Jones couldn't move him because he's got that probation in the back of his mind. So Josh looked on the outside of Brian Jones because Jones couldn't be aggressive, but Conover has nothing to lose. He's going to move somebody if he has to.
Indeed, he may have to move the number 45 himself in order to be able to take over. It's not really his style, but he has tonight already laid a little bit of that chrome horn into one of these trucks, so we'll see whether that is the style that pulls it off. But Brad Fulham still holds on to that top spot. We'll be back here with a 20 or so lap shootout in just a minute. You won't want to miss it. It's the trucks at Martinsville. Stay tuned. Back here on VirtualRacing.Network. I'm Trevor Greenfield, joined by Christian Snyder in the booth, and we are about to watch about a 17-lap shootout for the end. It's Brad Fulham for Full Send Motorsports who leads it, but Brian Jones decides to take the outside. Brad Fulham on the inside with Josh Conover going to be starting in that 3rd spot. Cody Reeder once again up into 4th. And we're back underway. Great start once again from Fulham. Here's Jones and Conover racing side by side. Is it Conover going to be able to take that position? It is. He's going to try to get a wheel up on Fulham, and now Conover racing side by side with Fulham. Conover emerges ahead as Fulham now drops back into third. Cody Height wiggling there and dropping back further. That is going to allow Cody Reeder to now emerge up into third. We hear a little bit of contact a little bit further back. The trucks start to shake their way out. It's Conover up into the lead, and now we've got these two locked in a battle for the end of this race. Conover looks good. Brian Jones kind of wiggling off of that corner, having an issue on exit, and now starting to fall back into the clutches of Reeder. And as you mentioned, Christian, it's definitely Brian Jones has to keep his nose clean here at the end. There's no ability to move any trucks, otherwise he'll sit at the end of this race or be penalized. Cody Height now taking a look once again on Brad Fulham, and he'll take that position. So we're seeing Fulham now dropping back very quickly as he's on those older tires from lap 140. All these drivers on 30 or more earlier tires. And I tell you what, Sector 1 fastest time of the race in Sector 1 that time for Brian Jones.
Yeah, Brian Jones may be faster than Josh, but the story of the night, that probation, it kind of limits him, because if he does get into Josh and Josh spins it, then Brian Jones is going to be parked. But he could risk it. He could move Josh and hope that Josh is able to handle the car. But that's a risk that he might not be willing to take. He might be okay with second here, because in the long run, second is better than being parked. A lot better.
Yeah, for certain, discretion, better part of valor. Live to fight another day and get as many points as you can. Christopher Heights, though, having to take a pit stop there, come through the pits, and that does drop him back there to be a lap down. Josh Conover, though, no trouble thus far through the last part of this green stint. No issues. Now just 10 laps remaining for Conover. Can he pull off another victory here on VirtualRacing.Network? It's very possible. It was only a couple of weeks ago that he stole the show and was able to sweep both races for NORA. Will he be able to start the weekend off right and in victory lane? Brian Jones not going to give up so fast. Jones very fast at the moment. They've managed to clear Cody Height by a full second, and then it's another full second back to Cody Reeder. So now it's looking like it will be Conover and Jones fighting this one out. 8 laps remaining, and Jones still trying to work on the back end of the Hooters machine.
Yeah, what Jones is going to have to do is he's going to have to get a great run off the corner and get to Josh's outside, because Josh is not going to get off that curb. He is going to make Jones go around him on the outside if he's going to pass him at all. So we're going to see Jones maybe start moving up a little bit and arching it like we saw Timmy doing earlier in the race, and maybe getting a good run off the corners. We'll see. As here he is, he's going up and arcing down to try to get a run off, just like I predicted there.
6 to go this time by the flag stand. They'll get the high five from Barney the flag man, meaning just 5 more laps around Martinsville, be over in a blink of an eye. Conover and Jones, are we going to see a last lap flyer here from Jones around the outside? Maybe try the old over-under, the under-over, the switcheroo. Perhaps he can't lay the chrome horn, and I don't know that there's any structural integrity left on that front bumper of Jones. So even if he wanted to push him out of the way, I think that thing's just sort of flopping around out there. But either way, Jones is closing in on Conover, still just 0.3 of a second separating these two trucks. 4 laps remaining, and we might have Conover back in victory circle. We're looking back, though. I can see there's a good race happening back here between Brad Fulham and Jacob Gladelich. Fulham still up in this top 5. Gladelich back there in 6th. We'll watch on for that. Just 2 more laps to go the next time by here for Conover. Will he be able to hold on from Jones? This is where it gets really good, Christian. I don't know. Do you think Jones could possibly pull one off in this last lap?
He's going to have to do something real quick, because I know people are thinking to themselves, maybe the Hail Melon, but not allowed in this league. But we are white flag, and here comes Brian Jones to the top, looking to try to get a run on the backstretch. Here's his final chance.
His final chance, but I don't think he's got any time to pull it off. He tried, but he can't do it. It's Josh Conover who holds on here at Martinsville and takes victory for the NORA Truck Series.
And if I'm not mistaken, that's the first repeat winner of the season. I think we've had a different winner every race so far. So seeing Josh put up 2 wins in the win column, very impressive.
You're absolutely right. First repeat winner here, and wow, what a race. I mean, you talk about filled with events, so many different lead changes and cautions. Never had any idea who was going to take victory, as we see Josh Conover celebrating in the Hooters truck. We're going to step aside for just a second. We'll be right back with your final results and a chat with your top 3. Stay tuned. And welcome back here, VirtualRacing.Network's stellar coverage of a stellar race. Maybe not the greenest race you've ever seen in your life, but lots of action. It was a fun one here at Martinsville. And at the end, it was a very familiar face who found his way into victory circle. None other than Josh Conover, your first repeat winner of the 2023 season, taking the victory for Flatline Motorsports. Very small margin of victory over Brian Jones in second for Brian Powell Motorsports. Third going to Cody Height, one of the independents in the field. Cody Reeder for KPR in fourth. Brad Fulham, Christian's driver for Full Send Motorsports, taking fifth place. Jacob Gladelich for Brian Powell Motorsports in sixth. Keegan Bitzer for Flatline in seventh. Andrew Staub for Full Send in 8th, and Todd Schneider, an independent. Christopher Heights in Harper Motorsports machine there in 10th. Taking a look a little bit further back, it is Sean Briscoe who came in as the points leader. He'll leave without the points lead. Really rough night, but he does manage to hold on to 11th, and that's quite a recovery. Still just a lap down. Cody Dorsey in 12th, Tyler Dixon in 13th, Joey States in 14th, Torrance Shirts in 15th, Nick Geilis in 16th, Corey Danielson in 17th, Timothy Harper in 18th, 19th, Zach Hollinger, Dylan Jones, Dylan Walterman, Michael Scheel, David McGuire, Todd Slauson, and last tonight was Ronnie Norman for SS Motorsports, who never really got it going. Had an issue early on, and we'll look forward to seeing him back in the show tomorrow night in the Cup Series. You want to make sure that you'll be right here on VirtualRacing.Network tomorrow night, 8:25 Eastern Time. Be right here, and make sure you subscribe if you're not already subscribed here on VirtualRacing.Network. Be sure to like this video, and you'll get lots more of this good stuff. So with that, let's go ahead and bring in our top 3 to the broadcast booth, and we welcome in Cody Height, our top independent finisher on the night. He had a great race going. The top owner's points driver for the night as well. Cody, welcome to the NORA Victory Lane discussion. Congratulations on holding on to third.
Hey, thanks, Trevor. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, my pleasure. So, I mean, what a heck of a night. We saw so many cautions. Talk us through the night. Tell us what it was like from your perspective and how you ended up in third.
Well, I actually had a really good night. I put it on the pole to start with, and that was pretty surprising. I didn't expect that at all. And then I could have had a lot better night, but I spun on my own there at one point and kind of screwed myself up. But other than that, it was a really good night. Had a lot of fun.
And certainly we appreciate, you sticking in there, keeping your head down. What was it like, to go from having pole position and then you have a bit of an issue. You're seeing trucks spinning around, having crashes all around you. Is it just a matter of surviving, keeping your head down and holding in there? I know you even had a couple of incidents along the way yourself.
Yeah, I got into Josh and Brian at one point, both. So it's pretty funny that we're all three, top three finishers. But yeah, it was just survival. I mean, honestly, I didn't really have a whole lot of issues. I didn't see a whole lot of wrecks around me. I didn't really have to dodge anything. It was just being smooth and being consistent. I knew I had a good enough truck to get there. If I could have minimized my mistakes, I would have been a lot better off.
Well, you looked solid all night tonight, and certainly easy to pick out in that bright red and white machine, that's for sure. But what would you say here at Martinsville was the real trouble for a lot of these trucks? We saw so many cautions out there tonight. Is it just a patience thing? Is it something where, you got to look for your openings and be a little bit more careful? Was it managing the truck? What did you see out there that was causing so much carnage out there?
I mean, honestly, it was all about beating somebody off of the corner and getting a better run, and then almost having to dive bomb every single person in the next corner to get by them. Like it was really hard to pass out there.
Certainly very hard to pass, and that's what we heard from the real life series as well. Extremely difficult to make those passes out there. Anybody that you'd like to thank for tonight's run? And by the way, are you running with Harper? Is that just an unofficial thing? Are you just friends with Harper Motorsports, but running officially as independent tonight?
Well, I was actually driving Zach Hollinger's truck. He let me drive it. But yeah, Timmy's the guy that invited me to the league and asked me to run some races. And I do run full-time in the Cup Series for Harper Motorsports. So the Truck Series is just kind of for fun and, hanging out and having a good time.
Well, there you go. So that is explained. Anybody else you'd like to thank for tonight's run to third?
Yeah, I'd like to thank my wife and my 7 dogs.
Wow, there you go. They seem to be nice and quiet while we're doing the interview. Certainly your dogs. I was talking about your wife. But great of your wife to let you come out here and race with us each and every week. We'll see you out there tomorrow night. I hope you can recover from this one and be ready to go tomorrow night. It'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I hope tomorrow night goes as good as tonight did. I'll take a P3 any night.
There you go. P3 tonight. He hung on until the end. Cody Height taking third. We'll see you tomorrow night, my friend.
See you. Thank you.
So he checks out of third place in his Ford, racing for himself in the independents, but certainly getting the owner points for the team. And then now we're going to take a look here and see if we can get our second place finisher, Brian Jones. There we go. We got him into a post-race chat and the NORA Victory Lane discussion. Brian, tonight was an interesting night for you. Of course, you came in here with probation from last week, getting into it with Tim Harper, and we've seen some more fireworks tonight, resulted in Tim Harper being parked. How cautious were you tonight, knowing the probation was in the air for you, and did that play a factor in not being able to necessarily take it to Josh there at the end?
Well, I don't think it played a factor at the end, but yeah, at the beginning I thought I was being pretty conservative and trying to stay out of people, and then get like a minute of damage because I'm getting into people, and it's like, okay, well, I got to back it down even more. So I was trying to keep it clean throughout the night, but I mean, as far as there at the end, I don't think I had anything for Josh. It's a little too hard to pass here. You'd have to get a crazy run on exit, and I just couldn't get really that close to him.
Well, I'll tell you what, that Insider Inc. 45 has seen better days. It's been bashed up. There's not a straight angle left on that truck. The cat on the back was grumpy before. Now he's really grumpy, and you can't even read the 45 on the side. How impossible was it to make passes out there tonight, and how much contact did you end up making, whether you wanted to or not?
Yeah, I mean, passing was impossible unless it was on a restart. It seemed like everybody wanted to take the inside, so luckily I was able to take tires one time and literally get my spot back. So yeah, I mean, a lot of it is just choosing the lanes and paying attention to who's fast and who's not fast on a restart, and identifying who to line up behind. But yeah, I mean, the car for having that much damage on it really didn't feel that bad.
Well, it had a ton of damage. I mean, when you go back and look at it, like, the nose is like M-shaped. It's just caved in on the front. I don't even know how that radiator is still pumping fluid, but either way, you bring it home in second place. Tight championship with Briscoe having difficulty tonight. That's going to put you back up into the lead. And it's never too early to be thinking about championship as you go forward. Any thoughts going forward in the racing here in the Truck Series?
Yeah, I mean, the points are tight, but just like in real life, I mean, the points, they literally don't even matter. It's all about just making it to Phoenix. And once you get there, anything can happen. I mean, I've won 2 championships in the Truck Series because some BS happens and everyone else gets taken out. So you just have to keep it clean once you get to Phoenix. And yeah, I mean, that's just really it.
Well, you've been keeping it clean, although the truck doesn't look clean. You kept it as clean as you could tonight. Certainly a great run back up into second, and a great way to hold on there. It was just you and Josh really battling for that win there at the end, with Tim being parked. Anybody you'd like to thank for tonight before we move on?
Yeah, I got to thank the sponsor, RichEnergyBook.com. If you care about F1 history and you like the Rich Energy Haas F1 team, you want to learn about the drama behind that, go get you a book at RichEnergyBook.com. Also want to thank Business Insider.
There you go. A couple of great sponsors for Brian Jones of Brian Powell Motorsports. Great run back to second, and we look forward to seeing you next time here on VirtualRacing.Network. We'll see you tomorrow night.
Probably not tomorrow. Maybe next week, Trevor.
Next week. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Brian. Have yourself a wonderful rest of your night. We'll see you next time, my friend.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
So that is Brian Jones. He finishes up here in second place, and Christian Snyder has caught up with his good friend, longtime friend, Josh Conover, our victor here, who has been popping champagne corks and celebrating here in Victory Lane. Does he got Hooters wings alongside? What's the victory celebration like down there for Flatline Motorsports?
Well, I'll have to ask him, Josh. The first time in Victory Lane here in the Truck Series in Martinsville. I know this one has been eating at you. Martinsville's a great track for you. You finally get the win. How do you feel tonight?
It feels good. I mean, obviously, it always feels good to win, but coming into practice, I didn't really have the pace, and then right as practice ended, I jumped to, I think, 4th in the time charts, and then kind of butchered Q a little bit. Had the pace to be second, but like I said, just kind of messed my entry up, and I think it was 6th or so, maybe, I forget, so long ago. But I just kind of, when it comes to Martinsville, you always just gotta have patience, let the car roll through the center, or truck, car, whatever you're in, and that seemed to be kind of what saved me tonight. When we could get a longer run, me being able to roll the center, it seemed like helped me not necessarily save tires maybe, but just get through the corners better throughout the run. So I guess that's just the big thing here. If you charge the corner too hard, you can't get it slowed down, and if you can't get off the corner, you can't get in the corner. So just gotta be patient.
Yeah, those last 10 laps, it was kind of hard to be patient. Brian Jones was breathing down your neck. If the roles were reversed, we were talking about it, that you might move someone out of the way. Were you going to possibly do that if the roles were reversed? Because we know Brian Jones wasn't going to do it to you because obviously probation, he couldn't risk it. But Were you that desperate for this win, or is it just kind of I'll get what I can get?
Depends. To be honest, I didn't expect them to do it until the white flag, and then as soon as I took the white flag and actually got to it, I started puckering up. I expected it to come probably into 3, but if the roles were reversed, I mean, I typically try and stay, I guess, level-headed or cool-headed would be the word, and just not kind of focus on that. I mean, obviously, unless I had a run and made the move and he threw a block, then I'd probably get into him. But otherwise, even when we were racing, I think before Timmy's caution, I kind of showed my nose. He threw the block, so I'm not trying to get myself a CC either, and could actually make the top work. I don't know what anybody else is doing, but pretty well, for Martinsville. And I went up there and almost had him cleared, and then we actually net coded, and and then the caution came out a couple laps later. But yeah, like I said, it just depends on the situation, I guess. If he throws a block, then I guess it's kind of game on at that point.
Well, yeah, you ran absolutely fantastic tonight, and obviously you're the owner of the series, so you had a lot on your plate with a very caution-filled race. And you mentioned the CC rule, and that's a great rule for this league. Whenever you implemented it, it helped a lot. So, is there anyone else or anyone out there that you want to thank for your win or talk about?
I'll start with whole Ronnie Norman. I'll bust on him for probably the next week or two because I got under him and he got on the gas a little quick and looped her and got into me. But he was actually a fill-in race control tonight. So every EOL and stuff he was on top of for the most part. So hats off to him because we wouldn't have had one until Nick died there at the end. So it helps out. I know there's a lot of guys not happy. I'll just say it how it is. Timmy's one of them because if it holds true, he will miss Kansas in I guess 3 weeks or so because he was on probation. But it is what it is. I was taught this when I was little, racing on the dirt tracks, learning every call is a bad call. There's never a good call. They're all bad. Everybody's gonna get a bad call, every now and then. So you just gotta kind of roll with it. But obviously it sucks. But like I said, you just gotta kind of roll with it and go on to the next one. But no, just you guys for the broadcast. It's always fun to win one, and they don't come easy. You guys like Reader and Brian, and even Brad tonight was quick too. We pitted and came back out behind him, and I was telling Ronnie and the guys on Flatline, I wouldn't be mad if Brad held on and won that. He was having a good run. A lot of guys were. Gladich had a great run. Keegan top 10. It might be actually his first top 10 of the season, I think, or maybe a second. But just classic Martinsville. Cautions and tempers flaring. But it is what it is. We got another night of it tomorrow.
Well, you guys did a fantastic job with race control tonight, and obviously you did a great job securing the victory first time here at Martinsville. Trevor, do you have anything to add here for Josh?
No, just that it was yet another stellar victory from Josh. And I mean, again, are we going to possibly see another sweep? You're starting off the weekend the right way. I don't want to jinx it, but tomorrow night it's a lot of the same kind of racing. So good luck tomorrow night, my friend.
Well, I wouldn't call it a jinx. We'll just call it the broadcast curse. But no, I'll say it, and you'll probably agree with me as soon as I say it, Trevor. But my pick's gonna be that 24 Chevy. He's
yeah.
I said it. I think at Coda, he's an alien when it comes to some tracks, and I feel like this is gonna be another one where he's kind of just in his own zip code, and we're basically racing for second. So I don't know. I didn't expect him to even do well on the dirt, and there he was flying around on the dirt. So it's just you and me both.
It's just one of those things that it's just like you can never count him out. And of course, talking about Vincent Arthur. So we'll see whether or not tomorrow night Conover can manage to take victory yet again. He's going to have some difficult competition to get through, but either way, starting it off 50% done with the sweep. Great job here, Josh, and we'll see you tomorrow night, my friend.
I appreciate it. Even if we can't get the sweep, I got one virtual clock now, so I'm good. I've been chasing a virtual clock for some time now, so it feels good.
It's good to get one off your back. We'll see you tomorrow night.
See you guys.
So that is Josh Conover and Christian. He sounds upbeat. finally got this monkey off his back. You know how it feels to do that when you're chasing a track for a long time, especially in a league that you want to win it at. You're racing for points. And now Conover going to be looking pretty close to taking over the points lead here. With Brian Jones coming in second, I think it's going to be a toss-up, but we'll see how that all works out next time out. But either way, Christian, final thoughts here on tonight's race.
Well, I do think that Josh will take the points lead because those wins, it's the playoff system. So the more wins you have, the higher up you are in points. So he'll be locked in for sure for the championship. I believe they're doing 12 this year for the playoffs. So Josh with 2 wins is going to have a lot of playoff points, and that's going to be something to think of later in the season as we're going to head to Kansas next, May 8th. Tonight it was a lot of cautions. Kansas probably not going to be the same way, but I'm going to be in the race, so it may be the same way if I wreck a couple times, considering I haven't raced since last year. But Kansas should be a little bit better of a show than here because Martinsville, like I said earlier, it's the track. It's not the league. 18 cautions is kind of common for leagues on iRacing here at Martinsville. So these guys did a phenomenal job tonight.
We've got several weeks for you to get out there, get all practiced up before we get to that point. So either way, it was a very interesting race tonight. And of course, before we get too far, I would like to say thanks for Mark Bremkamp for checking in with us. He was rooting on Torrent shirts in the YouTube chat room. Wished he was racing tonight, but had to do stupid taxes instead. Also, thanks to Alyssa Bielitz for checking in. Go Stab number 75. Well, I hope you were entertained tonight, and we hope we'll see you back here. Keegan Bitzer letting us know good finish tonight for the number 5 all Chevy Silverado. And Bremkamp sad that he had to miss it as it's one of his favorite tracks. As you mentioned, we'll be back here at Kansas Speedway on May the 8th with the trucks. In the meantime, make sure you're subscribed. We'll see you tomorrow night here from Martinsville. It's going to be, of course, the NORA Cup Series. You won't want to miss it on VirtualRacing.Network. Christian, so great to have you with us tonight. And so great to have everybody joining us out there in YouTube land and watching us on replay. We'll see you tomorrow night from Martinsville. So long, everybody. Have a great rest of your night.